How do I grow my corporate prospect list? Honestly, this is one of the most common questions I get asked as a corporate partnership specialist. And today I'm going to give you a key tip on how to do this. And honestly, it's easier than you think. There is this vastly underused tool, LinkedIn. Have you heard of it? Well, I'm sure you have. And it is the perfect tool for corporate partnership work. So today I'm going to talk to you about both how you can get your profile ready for corporate partnership, and then how you can start using the tool to make it work for you, to connect with companies and their prospects in LinkedIn. CEOs and their senior leaders at nonprofits have broad networks and strong relationships, and these are the relationships that you can use to help with your corporate partnership work. You are building community, and building community is something that many of us in the nonprofit sector are really good at. Many CEOs and senior leaders are well known through visible events, PR opportunities, conferences, and meetings, even earned media. These things make it more doable for you to reach out and build your network. If this isn't you at your organization, that's okay. You can be the person that coaches, writes posts, and gives tips to your CEO or leader to make sure that they are doing what you need of them to help your corporate partnership program. Through every interaction that your CEO or you have with a company, there is an opportunity to connect and make sure you are doing that on a regular basis to continue to grow your network. And as much as you can, as I said, make sure your CEO is doing it too. Before I get into the how of doing this, let me tell you the why. There are a bunch of really, really good reasons why LinkedIn is such a good tool for corporate fundraising. You can use your LinkedIn profile or your CEO's to boost your charity's reputation, provide thought leadership on your cause, steward and thank companies' prospects and partners, provide visibility to your corporate prospects and partners to ensure that they get the recognition that they deserve for the investment in your organization. You can be visible to contacts that you want to reach out to in the future so they get to know you in advance of a call, and you can strengthen connections within your community. Finally, getting familiar with what is going on with those companies by reading the company post and your contacts posts will also really help you be aware of what's going on, what's important to them, and that will be important as you figure out alignment hooks and outreach. And while you're doing all of this, just being there and being active demonstrates that you understand the value of this tool to companies. And understanding its value means that you'll have good ideas about how you can show up in the tool in LinkedIn for your companies. So that alone is why it's worth being there. Representatives will always be looking for further exposure for their initiatives and what is important to them. You yourself, your CEO, and your organization can all play a role in this. And so when you're considering partnerships with your organization, being aligned in a way that would allow you to speak about them in LinkedIn is one of the good tests to know that that's going to be a corporate partnership that you're really excited about. Showing companies visibly on your organization's page is also useful for showing that you're corporate friendly. I often talk about being open for business, and that is, a visible demonstration of a company's relationship with your organization. And doing that in LinkedIn in a business to business or in a way that shows up for their employees is a great way to get started. All of this is especially important to consider as you're building relationships virtually these days. Building relationships virtually means that you want people to get to know you in different mediums, in different ways. And LinkedIn is an easy tool to use that extends beyond the phone call and beyond the Zoom meeting. Virtual is here to stay, and having more and more tactics to help you in this way is a really useful way to be thinking of LinkedIn. So, in this video, I'm now going to share with you how to get started in LinkedIn, both in building up your page to make it make sense, as well as to do the outreach so that you can find the companies of your dreams without feeling overwhelmed. So, As you start, let's just get the basics down. I want you to start with the 3 areas of your profile that are the most important: your headline, your summary, and your banner. These 3 pieces are the first thing people see. It's your first impression. So first, let's talk about your headline. This is where you can express your role. And it's more than just the title. It's an opportunity to communicate what you do. Make sure you include keywords: leader, collaborator, manager, corporate partnerships, marketing. Really give a little bit of a feel for who you are in this space. Make it relevant, and it ideally also explains what your organization is as well as your role within it. Then take a look at your summary. See if that needs a little bit of updating. Write a paragraph or a series of bullets that explains what you are all about. You can, of course, focus partially on your professional role here, but it's also helpful to put in some values, passions, volunteer work, educational background in here to give the person a little bit more of a holistic sense of who you are. I love it when people end their summary section with a wrap up or that says something like, "I love talking about this," or "I love sharing ideas about that." Something that gives a reason to connect with you beyond just the obvious of your role. It gives you a little bit of personality. So I encourage you to think about a sentence like that in your summary. And finally, your banner. This is the visual. And in an ideal world, you would create a visual that reflects something meaningful for you, that reflects your professional values and your work in Canva. It is not a hard tool to use, but if you do need some help, reach out to people around you. Lots of people love working in Canva for fun. If you really can't do that, then fall back on the templates that exist in LinkedIn. But I encourage you to think about putting a visible representation of who you are in the banner. Okay, once you've done that, your page is ready. It's in a state where if someone pops over to there that it will reflect your corporate partnership role, your fundraising role, and you will look professional. That's all we need. Now it's time to do some reaching out. In order to really see impact on LinkedIn, you have to take action. You have to make sure you are connecting with companies, their senior leaders, and being seen as the leader you are. How do you do that? Well, I'm going to give you 4 key actions that I know that you can do today. Number 1, reach out to all your current contacts and corporate partners, your staff team, and your board, and make sure you're connected to all those key people. Always connect with a new contact when you have a meeting with them or after a conference if you've met them at a conference. In both of these cases, really close to the meeting is the perfect time to make sure you're connected. Right before someone meets with you, if you've already checked their LinkedIn, instead of going on anonymous, show them that you've looked at their profile and make a quick comment. That just shows you're getting prepared and doing your research. Reach out to the main companies that the main contact at companies you want to have a meeting with as well. If you aren't comfortable yet with doing that as a one-on-one, many senior leaders have a follow option. So you could follow them in advance of reaching out through a DM. But if you are feeling like you have good alignment and you want to see and talk to them at a virtual conference or workshop, you want to make sure that they notice you, then it can be a good strategy to reach out in advance with a very specific reason why you're reaching out, and tell them you're about to be at a conference or about to listen to them somewhere where you might meet them. Best practice is building the connection by being personal. So whenever possible, provide them with a specific reason why you're connecting, and that will really help increase the likelihood of their acceptance. Keep it short and focused on the commonality that you're trying to create. Wherever possible, name another person or a specific next step that will make a further connection. But as I said, if you're not there yet, many senior leaders have a follow option. And if for now that's where you're at, follow them. But then you can also maintain a higher level of engagement by writing comments on their posts and liking what they've put out there. Okay. So now we're starting to get some action. You've got a great page. You've started to follow your contacts, follow your networks, follow people that you're meeting with. Now, as I said, start liking and commenting. Amplify the message that they're putting out in the world. You can do this on the company page and on these individuals' pages. Often they will provide professional updates about their organizations and putting a quick comment that says how much you like it or how it aligns with what your organization is doing or how it makes sense that that they are being receiving an accolade for something that they are really invested in as a company. This will really help you. They will see it. I always say that algorithms work for you. If you are showing up on their company page and on their page by putting positivity out in the world, they will notice. You can start really simple. It does not have to be a big deal to put a nice comment on a thought leader's posts. And you don't need to limit this. There's nowhere in LinkedIn that it shows out how many times you're doing that, or at least no one's checking that. I also encourage you to share a regular post on your page. Share a post of what's going on with you or with your organization. Ideally, you do this weekly, but even if you do it once a month, I would consider that a win. There are so many great examples out there, so look at a couple of pages that you admire and see what kind of posts they put. This will give you some ideas that you can build on and emulate when you put your longer posts out. And your longer posts don't have to be in articles. They could be right in the content. With a picture is ideal, or a link to an article. We just want to get to know you a little bit in LinkedIn. You can also, for your own content, reshare posts from your organization, from companies that you like, or from publications that you like. It's an easy way to amplify somebody else's message within your organization or within your cause and show that you're paying attention in LinkedIn. So you're reading an article and you're highlighting a key point. This is how you begin to establish yourself as a thought leader in the sector, by amplifying others and adding a thoughtful comment to what they have to say, and doing more than just putting it within the post, but also resharing it on your own page. The more experience you get, the more comfortable you will get at really writing new messages of thought leadership and more messages of amplification. But at the beginning, just getting out there is good enough. It shows that you're active, it shows that you're networking, and it shows that you understand the value of the tool. And at this stage, that's really what we want. Once you've taken these steps, you are truly active in LinkedIn. You will start to see the positive repercussions of this tool. I have met with many organizations who have connected through LinkedIn, and that has helped them in their meeting. It has helped them get to know the organization, and it has helped that contact get to know them as well and their organization. One extra piece of homework. If you'd like to connect with me on LinkedIn, I'd love to be connected with you. And if you want me to give one of your posts a like or a comment, don't hesitate to DM me that post. I'll see it and I will definitely interact with it. That's a good way for you to get started. Now, if this video was helpful for you, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed what you're learning here and are invested in corporate partnerships, I do share regular content, and I encourage you to subscribe. I look forward to being connected with you here and on LinkedIn. Best of luck with your corporate partnerships.